You know, you live with a multiple national award-winning actor. Did you guys ever exchange notes on acting?
No.
कभी नहीं.
We have so much else to talk about. 2 बच्चे हैं, घर है, 2 कुत्ते हैं, 4 गाड़ियां हैं, तो इतना सारा कुछ आ जाता है बीच में कि वक्त नहीं मिलता. एक्टिंग के लिए वक्त नहीं मिलता है. I can't act now.
Kajol, it's so lovely to have you on Now Binging.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
First of all, congratulations on your streaming debut, The Trial, Kaanoon Pyar Dhoka.
प्यार कानून धोखा.
Pyar Kaanoon Dhoka. I love it. I love it. It's just so dramatic. It just sounds all sorts of fabulous.
Yeah. It's got lots of vibes going.
Yes, it does. Now, you know, I saw a bunch of interviews, and of course, we also did an interview when the show released. And you talked about how, of course, streaming is giving options to viewers, but you said it's also holding actors up to higher standards. And I want to ask you about that. Like, did you mean that long form is inherently more challenging, or, you know, what did you mean?
I wouldn't know about more challenging, but I just feel that it's a platform for all kinds of cinema. That's what I meant. When you say OTT, it actually means cinema from all over the world. Really.
Yeah.
And it's all over the country as well. So you're not only talking about Hindi films that are seen in theatres, you're talking about films there are Marathi films, there are Malayalam films, there are Telugu films. And fortunately, they're all dubbed in a language that we all can understand, or that only we can understand. So it's a very, very vast platform. And when you see so many performances from so many different, there's Japanese, there's Korean, there's French.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all different kinds of cinema that you're watching together. Suddenly, you are not held up to only the Hindi film standard.
Ah, that's what you meant.
That's what I meant.
It's global now.
It is global. It is actually an international standard that you have to work up to, because it will fall a little flatter if you don't hold yourself up to that standard.
You know, you talked about how for The Trial, Suparn, the director, had cameras everywhere. So in the courtroom scenes, you were actually shooting it like a play.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And Sushmita talked about the same thing in Arya when she shot with Ram Madhwani, the first season. She said it was like that. There's just cameras everywhere and you keep going wherever naturally and organically you want to go.
It's not natural and organic at all. I want to just tell you that. Just take that line out of there, because it's not natural and organic.
It's plotted.
It's plotted, studied and acted well.
But I was thinking, Kajol, when you started, we didn't even have bound scripts.
No, we didn't. We actually didn't.
So is it hard? Because like, I remember once Rishi Kapoor had told me that he had a very tough time with Shakun on Kapoor and Sons. Because he could not get used to this digital retake, 50 retake. He was like, for me, it came out in the first 2 or 3 takes.
Yeah.
And then it was tough.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to adjust to these new sort of ways of work, or have you just evolved with them?
I think I wouldn't say it's hard, but I think challenge accepted.
Really?
Really. And I think it's great that actors have to adjust. I think the toughest part, in fact, in working on The Trial as a series, was to remember where I was. Where does the scene come? You know?
In the arc.
Yeah, in the arc. Where does the scene come? Where is your, what are you supposed to be doing here? What are you supposed to be feeling here? In fact, that I felt was the toughest part, to figure out exactly where I was, stick to it, and then go from there. Because the next scene that you're doing, after this one gets over, could be right at the beginning, or could be right in the middle, or could be the end.
Yeah.
So it was, in fact, the last shot scene of the film was actually one of the ones from the first episode that we did. So it was a completely like...
Yeah, you're all over.
Yeah, you're all over the place. In fact, that I felt was the most confusing and unnerving part as an actor.
No, and it's amazing that you're doing this today. And I remember reading this interview of yours where you talked about how in the mid-90s, after Udhar Ki Zindagi, you felt completely burnt out.
Yeah.
And you consciously wanted to be the 2 scenes, 3 songs wala heroine,
Of
because
course,
you
I
said,
did. I did.
Meri khushi wahan hai.
I needed a break. I think, you really need a break at points. You want to do just enough to, kind of keep you happy also and not stress you out too much either.
But then you said you discovered a way where you don't have to give all of yourself
Yeah,
in the
that's when I
acting.
started to learn how to act. Till then, I was like, no, it has to be organic and it has to be honest and all that and all that. Yeah, but then I had to learn how to act. I had to actually put the effort in to learn the technique of not having to give everything of yourself all the time.
What is this technique?
I think it's called acting. I think they teach it nowadays.
So, meaning iske pehle you were just going full on.
Yeah, it had nothing. I just full on all the time. And it was, like I said, it was really, really. And I remember having this discussion with Shahrukh actually, and he was the one who actually told me, he's like, just calm down. Like, he just calmed down. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, very brash at that. What are you talking about? This is. It's like, you really need to learn how to the technique of acting. And I was like, what is the technique of acting? I don't know what you're talking about. And then later, I really remembered him, and I really was like, shit, he was right. And I should have learnt it better.
You live with a multiple national award-winning actor. Did you guys ever exchange notes on acting?
No.
कभी नहीं.
कभी नहीं.
मतलब शुरू से ही नहीं.
शुरू से ही नहीं. I think we're both very, very secure as people. So you never gone to each other and said that, oh, do this scene this way. We never do that. We just never talk about it. It just never happens. We have so much else to talk about. 2 बच्चे हैं, घर है, 2 कुत्ते हैं, 4 गाड़ियां हैं, तो इतना सारा कुछ आ जाता है बीच में कि वक्त नहीं मिलता. एक्टिंग के लिए वक्त नहीं मिलता है. I can't act now.
But do you, let's say it's a performance you've really liked of yourself, would you seek feedback or do you praise each other?
Of course we do. I mean, I've seen a lot of his work. He's seen very little of mine.
Really?
So yeah.
Why is this?
I don't know. I really need to. I need to take him to task about it. But honestly, there's just no. I don't seek validation in that respect from him over there. But yes, I do. He does come up to me, and he saw Salam Venki as well, and he was like, it's one of your best performances ever. So I mean, I know for a fact that he does consider me, he does respect me immensely as an actor. And yeah.
You've also been directed by him.
Yes, I have.
What was that like?
That was awesome, actually. He's one of the best directors that I've ever worked with. And I keep telling him, I was like, you need to take me back into your movie again. We need to do a film together. But I mean, I think has to find the perfect script for that, which he hasn't come across.
You know what I thought was amazing? That you said ki DDLJ released earlier this year, right? And you said, I couldn't go see it because I was shooting. What did that feel like, Kajol, to just have something that you did 30 years ago, still be speaking to the audience?
Absolutely.
But you are still at the top of your game, doing what you do so well. Did you just take a moment and say, well done?
I did. I thought it was so cool.
It is.
And I think, I really think I'm blessed. I truly think that I'm blessed. And I have this attitude of gratitude that 30 years or, I don't know, 28, 29 years now.
Yeah, it'll be 30 in 95.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2000.
Yeah, exactly.
2025, it'll be 30 years.
28 years, I would say. 28 years down the line and 32 years of acting. And I still feel like, I still feel relevant. I am relevant. I am still loved. I mean, wherever I go, I still have all this immense amount of, love that is there from the regular, normal people around me, and it's a love which is really unconditional. I've literally grown up in front of them. I've had children in front of them. I've fallen. I've broken my foot. ये किया है, वो किया है, मतलब I've done such crazy shit. My whole life is like there in front of them, literally. And, everybody's loved me unconditionally throughout. So there's this intense amount of gratitude inside me for that.
My earliest memory of you is I remember coming to interview you at Mehboob Studio in the 90s. Okay. हाँ, मुझे भी बहुत fleetingly याद है. It's like a vague memory. And your person sort of let me into the vanity van and you were reading. Okay. And you had this big book with you and you looked at me and you looked so irritated that shit, now I'll have to put this book down and talk to this woman. So funny.
Still feel that. I still feel that. I carry my books everywhere with me, and I really am one of those people who, it's just like, it's all a constant fight between the book
Yeah.
and real life. And like I have to go back and I have to work out also. I have to get ready also. I have to do this, I have to go for work also. Why can't I finish the book and then do all that? So yeah, I'm a little better at controlling my addictions now.
But do you think the reading has also made you the actor you are?
The reading has definitely given me a better vocabulary.
But also
it has-
expanded your imagination.
Yes,
no?
absolutely. And I think when you read, like when you read fiction, you're reading so many books, you're reading so many characters. It's as good as sitting at a cafe in the middle of, wherever in
And
the
observing.
world and observing
Yeah.
everybody around you. Because there's everything in that, from body language to atmosphere to vibe to dialogue to story, script. You're actually watching a movie in your head. Yeah. So yeah, I do believe that it has contributed to my most vivid imagination.
Do you now, especially with streaming, there's a writer's room, there's so many people who work on it. Do you get involved ever in the writing stages?
Not really.
No. People come to you with a
A complete script. Of course, we do work on the scenes when they come out, etc. When you're shooting them, you need to sit down on set and figure out, because sometimes when you're on set, what's written on paper doesn't work. Or if it doesn't work, it needs to be tweaked and figured out exactly. Sometimes the body language doesn't work. Sometimes, the way it's written down, those lines don't work just because of where you are. So then you work around that, you work through it, you work with something new. Somebody comes up with an idea, somebody comes up with a line. That's why I say that a film is always a combination of everybody's ideas and, thoughts put together that actually make it a film.
And does streaming, Kajol, give you the confidence that there will be roles? Because I get more and more nervous about what women are going to end up doing with theatrical. But streaming, I feel very optimistic.
I think that generally the world of cinema, fortunately for us, right now, considering the films that are doing well, I have very little hope, but I wouldn't say very little hope actually. I touch wood, we've had a
Bad year, and it's great that they're running.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Yes.
For the last 3 months, we're really doing well. So, it's doing well, but I hope it picks up. I hope it picks up enough so that we have really good films doing well. I think that's what's important. And like somebody says, I hope they make a Wonder Woman. I said that, I hope they make a Wonder Woman in India. I really hope that they make a Wonder Woman in India, and I hope it does 1,000 crores.
Yeah.
I really hope and pray
that
is the future of our film industry.
Yeah. But you must see the change in terms of just even conversations around women. Of course, it's not at all close to enough. But do you see that there is enough of a change when it comes to roles, when it comes to...
Definitely.
Even in theatrical?
Definitely. No two ways about it. I think the biggest change that I see, that I absolutely loved, was the fact that I worked with a female DOP. I saw a female paparazzi. That was one place where I was like, oh my God, this is like in that middle of the dhakkam dhakki. I saw this woman among all these men standing and pushing her way through and
taking
pictures on a red carpet. So I was like, oh my God, now I see more of them.
Yeah. And I remember, Kajol, those sets where it was literally 3 women in 100, 150 men. But I think we didn't even question it. It was just the way it was.
It was really, we never thought about it. And like I say, feminism came much later. Absolutely.
Humko to lagta tha yahi hai. This is fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's so exciting to just have women. But I think the gap is still with the writing.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think that you're getting the roles.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not being written. It is being written. I would say that for me at least. I don't know about
Really?
everybody else.
Do people come to you with roles they've written specifically for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's not, like I said, so I'm not currently feeling the dearth. So I have, and I have, I have good roles coming to me. I have some fantastic writing ahead of me. And I'm really, really enjoying it right now.
It's a good place.
Yeah, it's a good place.
How
It's really a
lovely.
good place.
How lovely. That's so fantastic.
And I don't even need a 26-inch waist.
Best of all. Hannah?
Okay, that was a low blow.
But isn't that great?
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, you don't need to have, for men and women, I would say, that, you don't need to have the perfect set of features in body or face to become superstars.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest step forward that you can see as an industry that we've taken.
Yeah. Yeah. And more steps to go.
Absolutely.
I'm going to come to our second segment, which is called Binge List. So I know that you're a reader and not a binger, but what's the last thing you watched and loved?
I remember Ajay's film. I remember watching Bhola. I remember watching Bhola and loving it. I liked Runway 34, I think, more than I liked Bhola. I loved Runway 34. I thought it was a fabulous film. Actually, the last thing that I watched was The Trial. That was the last thing that I watched.
And
so I loved it. You must watch it.
are you critical of yourself when you see yourself?
I am super critical of myself, and I always have been. I feel that that's something that you have to be brutally honest with yourself about. I mean, you can't lie about that.
Yeah.
So I am brutally honest with myself. And
But you can enjoy what you're watching.
Absolutely. But it'll take me the second time around to enjoy it.
Right.
The first time around, I'm sitting and I'm just like sitting, oh, okay, that had to be that way. Okay, this can be better this way. Okay, when next I do this, I will do this. So yeah, it's more of a cataloging of what you did right and what you did wrong than an actual binge watch.
Okay, what's your favorite film adapted from a book?
I thought Thornbirds was an awesome adaptation. I thought the Twilight series actually was a very good adaptation because the book was crap. I couldn't go through one chapter of the book. I just couldn't. I picked it up and I was like, I don't understand why people are buying this book. So I put it back down again. And when I saw the film, I was like, okay, that's not so bad after all. Maybe I could have gone to the 10th or the 20th chapter and skipped the first 19. But so that I thought was an amazing
Was
adaptation.
an improvement.
Was a huge improvement. Huge improvement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, you said actually that you don't read anything for improvement.
No, I don't.
Right? So you're reading Mills and Boons, you're reading historical romances, which I love. I think that's just fab. Do you watch anything for improvement?
No.
Bilkul nahi.
Bilkul nahi.
So jo bhi hai, it's for pleasure.
It's for pleasure because I don't think that me watching somebody else play something on screen is going to make my performance anywhere better because anyways it has to come out of my head.
Yeah.
Whatever I do has to be a completely fictional character. You know, it's like, so that's just it. And I think I have some amazing actors that I watch every day in real life also. So, मतलब लोगों को ही देख लो उतना ही काफी है जो लोग हमारे इर्द गिर्द होते हैं उनको ही देख लो रोज रोज तो पता चलता है कि मतलब एक्टिंग कितनी बड़ी चीज होती है तो इसीलिए तो I think that it's you just keep watching the people around you. There are such awesome characters around you.
Yeah.
So,
but do you ever see cinema that can sort of, because I truly think that like there have been films that make you into a better person. You know, it expands your head in a way that you change your life philosophy.
Absolutely.
So, but you don't chase that. If that happens, it happens.
To be very honest, I feel that it takes a lot of effort on my part to sit down to watch a 2-hour film or a 3-hour film. It just takes a lot of effort on my part, and whenever I come up to that decision, it's always like, acha, theek hai, you know, I have to work out also, I have to do this also, I have to do that also, and I can't stop the film halfway also because then I will get bored and I will not go back to it. And so all that, and I don't want to watch films that make me too upset. Because I feel like there's so much in life, we just need to open a newspaper to cry. So, I mean...
You like happy things.
I like happy things. I like positive things. I like funny things. So, that's who I am.
Okay, which of Ajay's performance is a favorite?
I loved him in Company. I loved him in Bhagat Singh. I loved him in Zakham. 3 awesome performances. Recently, I would say I liked him in Runway. I really liked him in Runway 34. I thought he was really good in Runway 34. And I think out of all his performances, these stood out.
And which of your mother's performance is a favorite?
My mother's, I have not watched too many of my mother's films, I have to tell you. Because I feel so much for her that I'm never able to separate myself from her. And when she cries on screen, I just sit and I bawl. So I have no objectivity where she's concerned. I just have zero objectivity where she's concerned. She just makes me howl. And I think my children feel the same way about me when they see me on screen.
So they can't watch?
So they can't watch either. So they really don't watch my movies. They watch it, they watch it with forward the crying scene and watch it forward this scene. And then they're like, you cry too much in the movies. I missed half the film because you were crying for half the film. I was like, but that's ridiculous.
You should be doing comedies.
Yeah, I should be doing comedies. I want to do a comedy next. I really want to do a comedy next. I seriously want to.
So you haven't seen like any of the great films she did?
No, I haven't.
No?
No, I haven't. I wanted
It was just too hard?
It was just too hard. If one, I couldn't understand why, and I'm very jealous, I'm very possessive. I can't understand why these random people are calling her Ma and all that. I mean, like, I don't like all this. I mean, like, I've seen Jewel Thief. I loved her in Jewel Thief.
Yeah.
I thought she was fantastic in Jewel Thief.
Raat Akeli Hai.
I know. She was so good.
She was so good.
She was so stunning. I remember watching Hathi Mere Saathi, though,
of course. Of course.
And I've not spoken to her for, like, at least, like, a week after that, after I saw the film, because I was just like, how could you let that elephant die? I mean, like, I was really... So, like we say, like, I can tell you, like, if with these 2 examples, you can make out that, you know, I'm not exactly objective where my mother is concerned at all. I'm completely subjective.
Do you ever, Kajol, when you watch your own work, like you just saw the trial, right? Do you look at yourself? Of course, you're making the checklist, do this, do this. Do you also admire some of the things you do?
Yes, definitely.
So you can see that?
Yes.
That you're a good
What
actor.
you've done right and what you've done wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so it's not like just being critical.
No, not at all. I think you have to, right? You have to at some point. Otherwise, why would you want to go on with the profession if you found so much of it wrong? So, no, definitely. I do. I look at it, you know, I'm looking at it as a whole and saying that, okay, like a lot of it was really, really good. And yeah, it needs to be tweaked here and here and here. But a lot of it was really, really good.
So you make yourself proud?
Yes, definitely. I pat myself on the back quite often.
Good for you. Because enough women don't do that.
No, I do. I learned it a little late in life, but I do pat myself on the back.
Nice, nice. I saw you talking about how much you loved watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
I did.
Is anime a thing?
I love it. I think it's one of the most intelligent forms of writing that we have on TV today. It truly is. Because I think when you're looking at movies right now, any kind of cinema per se, you're catering to a storyline which has regular people in it, or maybe like the Marvels, you have different world or whatever. But you're still catering to the masses.
Yeah.
You're still catering to a certain audience. But with anime, I feel that they're not catering to any audiences. They're not catering to dumb people. They're not trying to dumb it down to make everybody understand. They've just changed the game. They've just changed the game. And the way they write, the concepts that they come up with, the thoughts that they come up with, it's just such fabulous writing.
Yeah.
It is really, really fabulous writing, you know.
And are you a fan of the comics as well?
I can't read them. I can't read manga. I can't do that opposite. I tried very hard because I was like, it's so great and it's so fabulous writing and whatever. And I tried to read the opposite side comic and I just got so, like, I was completely confused. Does this part come before that? Does that come before that? Does the left page come first? Does the right page come first? So I could not get used to it. I probably could if I put my mind to it, but I just thought it was too much of an effort. I'd rather pick up a book and read the book itself.
Do your kids influence your viewing choices at all? Do they introduce you to new things?
Yes, absolutely.
Like
and
what?
I love the fact that I love knowing what they like to watch and what they like.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Nissa watches a lot of stuff. She watches a lot of. My son watches more. Nissa doesn't watch as much now. But yeah, my son watches a lot of anime. So the anime thing comes from there. I watch like 2 episodes of some new anime every 4 days with him. And yeah, it's fabulous.
And what performance of yours are you proudest of?
I'm proud of all my performances.
Yeah.
Every one of my films so far. Because I think it also has to do with what I have given to the film. And I feel that I have been more than 100% honest with each and every one of my performances, regardless of how big, small, and inconsequential or consequential they were in every film.
So you never slacked off?
No, I didn't. Not in front of the camera, I haven't.
Really?
I haven't.
Over 32 years.
I am proud of myself and I should put my collar up and pat myself on the back for doing that and for saying it. But I can honestly say that I have not in front of the camera. I just don't know, something just doesn't let me do that in front of the camera.
How lovely. Okay, last segment. Now, since you portrayed Noinika in the trial.
Please don't ask me to speak Bengali.
Not at all. I'm going to ask you to defend the following choices made by characters in your films. Okay? You are now, these guys are on trial and you have to defend them. Anjali choosing Rahul in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai over Aman.
She was young, what can I say? She was young, she was reading too many Mills and Boons. Young girls these days, hormonal.
Didn't know what was good for her.
Didn't know what was good for her, really.
Isha attacking Sheetal in Gupt.
I don't blame her in this. I totally don't blame her. I'm on her side. Why didn't her father put her in a straitjacket long back? It's her father's fault, not her fault.
That's right. She was built like this.
She's built like that, damn.
Ajay pushing Seema to her death in Bazigar. मतलब दुख भरी कहानी तो थी, tragic backstory तो थी.
हाँ, tragic backstory थी ना.
तो मार ही डालो.
हाँ, माँ के लिए कुछ भी.
That's right. माँ के लिए कुछ भी. Yes, that's acceptable in Hindi cinema.
Exactly.
बिल्कुल acceptable है. Simran hanging out with this completely unknown boy in a foreign country in DDLJ.
Yeah, I know. It was the Eurorail. It was the train's fault. It was the fault of the train. It was the fault of the scenery and it was Switzerland's fault. Yes.
She just got carried away.
She got carried away. It was the scenery. It was the chocolate. And she had bad eyesight. We saw her wearing specs, didn't we?
This is true. This is true, but nothing to do with Shahrukh's dimples and all.
Not at all.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Palat walat kuch nahi. Do you, by the way, ever get tired of seeing Palat in other movies?
Oh, constantly. I'm like, please change the joke. It's usually like a joke and I'm like, please stop. You need to change this joke around. Can we have a different joke around it? Can we just please have a different joke?
Yeah. Okay, Zuni meeting Rehan on a blind date literally without knowing him at all. How are you defending her choices?
Well, I defend her choices in the right way possible. I mean, she was blind, for heaven's sakes.
तो?
She was blind.
तो उससे क्या होता है?
उससे क्या होता है? मतलब कि choices कम हो जाती है ना फिर.
हाँ.
तो इतनी सारी choices नहीं थी ना उसके
पास.
तो
Rehan showed up and she
Rehan showed up, now then. What is she supposed to do? She's supposed to say, no, don't love me. I don't have another boyfriend. How many boyfriends did she have in line anyways? कितने थे? एक ही तो मिला था रेहान उसको.
वो भी terrorist निकला.
हाँ, वो भी terrorist निकला.
Kajol, thank you so much and just keep doing what you do.
Thank you. Till then, I was like, no, it has to be organic and it has to be honest and all that. Yeah, but then I had to learn how to act. I had to actually like put the effort in to learn the technique of not having to give everything of yourself all the time.
What is this technique?
I think it's called acting. I think they teach it nowadays.
So, meaning iske pehle you were just going full on.
Yeah, it had nothing, I just full on all the time. And I remember having this discussion with Shahrukh actually, and he was the one who actually told me, he's like, just calm down. Like, he just calmed down. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, very brash at that. What are you talking about? This is, it's like, you really need to learn how to, the technique of acting. And I was like, what is the technique of acting? I don't know what you're talking about. And then later, I really remembered him, and I really, just like, shit, he was right.